Morning.
Morning.
So, why haven't we left yet?
My car's charging.
So, good morning. Welcome to Jeff Buys Cars and the McMasters EV versus Diesel John O'Groats to Land's End Challenge. It's quite a name, isn't it?
It is, it's long.
It's a good name, that.
We need to span it out.
We do, yeah. So, we today will be driving our vehicles, a Porsche Taycan EV, £120,000 worth of car, and my BMW 320 diesel that I bought 2 nights ago on Facebook Marketplace for 2,600 quid. First to Kendal and then to Land's End. So we have 427 miles to do today to Kendal.
Yeah.
And around about 600 miles to Land's End tomorrow. So a couple of big days of driving. We were going to mess around and find the Loch Ness Monster and get some whiskey and fart about a bit, but there's no time. So it's pretty much a straight run to the hotel. So the big question is, who's going to get there first and who's going to spend the least? Now, we're both taking this very, very seriously. What do you think about your odds? What's your chances?
The only disadvantage I'm at the moment is I'm charging on GridServe. Now, GridServe is one of the most expensive charging points that you can use. If I could have charged on Ionity, like I did on the journey up here, then I'd be in with a chance, as you know the figures that I did,
yeah.
I gave you yesterday. And also with GridServe, you don't know what you've spent until about 3 days later when it hits the server. Yeah, because you have to go online and look for it and get a receipt, but it doesn't register unless you've charged on it before. So it might do on that one. I've charged on that before.
Okay, but so yesterday coming up here, the costs, we will see, but it was almost comparable, wasn't it? I mean, you did eat a pot noodle in your car in the dark, and I didn't. And I was at the bar hours before you and had 3 pints by the time you arrived. But that's just technicalities, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and it gave me a chance to appreciate the shape of a crisp.
You sent me a voice message yesterday. It was about 10 minutes long, talking about the shape of a crisp. I was like, my life is too short to be sat in my car pondering the shape of a crisp. I can't talk though, I got pulled over on the way up here. So.
Yes, you did.
That was dramatic. You are on, I think last time you checked, you're on 83%.
Yes, I am, and I shouldn't really be charging now. Don't tell the evangelists because they'll be having a go at me, because 80% you should cut off and leave it.
They don't like it, do they? You're hogging the charging point.
I am hogging
for the queue of people who are waiting at John O'Groats to charge their electric cars.
Logic though, question.
Go on.
What's the other 20% for if you don't charge it?
Well, if you don't charge it at the top 20%, and if you fill it before it gets beneath the bottom 20%, then you've only ever really got 60% of your actual viable range, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which is shocking.
And in winter, as you know, because I had about 270 miles of range in summer, it now dropped to, what was it, 210?
210, 217, I think you've got now. So, I was thinking, when I was working out the maths as to how feasible it was for you, in my small brain, I'd go, right, it's 800 miles, he's got 210 miles, that's 4 charges. But obviously it doesn't work that way, because you're not driving from 210 to 0 to then get exactly to a charger, are you? Like you can do with the petrol or a diesel cars. You've got to plan your journey.
And sometimes it's charge when you can and not when you have to.
Exactly. So let's just think, what are the EV people going to be saying to this video? I think the main one is going to be, that's not a normal journey. You don't do that every day. But as we discussed in the bar last night with the 2 guys who are from Canada, in countries like Canada and the USA and Australia, it's kind of pretty normal to do huge, big trips to go and visit family. And I've had people in my YouTube comments saying, well, when I lived in such and such, we'd do that all the time. So I feel like it's a pretty fair challenge.
I will say, a lot of the evangelists have said, I'm going to lose on purpose. I can assure you 100%, as you know yesterday, I'm going all out to do, even if I don't win, all out to do as best as I can. And I know the big thing is going to be, should have got a Tesla, could have done it in a Tesla, haven't got a Tesla. And if you drove a Taycan, you'd understand why I got the Taycan. You've driven it.
And it's a lovely thing. And if it had a petrol engine, but as we've said before, it is the best looking of the EVs. I don't understand why EVs need to be designed in a way that everybody knows that you're driving an EV, which is what they are. It's like you see a big ugly thing, you know that it's electric. Why is that? The Taycan is everything the Panamera should have been. It's a beautiful car. It is. You pulled up last night in the dark, and as you pulled up, I just thought, that is a fine looking car. You can't deny that.
It is. It's beautiful.
How do you feel about my BMW now that you've seen it?
I had one of those.
I knew you had.
Yeah, I had an automatic version of it in silver, and I absolutely loved it. And it drove fantastically until it had a recall, and then after the recall, it lost all its power.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to it, and I just got rid of it then.
Oh right. Well, I can tell you that the recall has been done on my car. It seems to have plenty of power. It has fantastic service history. It's a lovely specification from the factory. And seems like a pretty genuine car, considering it was bought late at night on Facebook Marketplace in a hurry from 2 Romanians from Birmingham. It shouldn't have been.
Interesting, I'll tell your viewers, you might not have been on my channel yet, I filmed it, but I told you on the way up. So first experience on the way up, first charging point that I stopped at, you've actually got you've seen it.
Yeah.
I stopped at, there was an MG on the charging point. All of them was taken up. This was at grid services. The MG couldn't move. He was in and out of his car. I'm cursing him out. I went over, there's a Mini waiting, another car waiting, and he says, oh, I've just got to unplug the battery, plug it back in again and restart it because the car had crashed or something. So he was trying to unplug it. So then he said, there's another one, there's Ionity up at Gretna. So I went up to Gretna, went to charge there, plugged it in, 4 charging points there. There's a couple of Taycans on it, I believe, and a BMW or whatever. And the guy knocks on my window. He says, "Oh, do you realise your car's not charging?" And up popped on my dashboard, limited charging due to, I can't remember, it went off due to power on the grid. So I went out, and a couple of us had to unplug because there's not enough power on the grid to provide for them 4 charging points. So then it went really slow charging, and Ionity is really good, I have to say, they're normally really good. It's not the fault of Ionity, it was just the area it was down on the grid. So if you can't charge 4 cars, what's going to happen when you've got all of the UK? Yeah.
Ludicrous. So you had to work together with other drivers to say, all right, well, I'll pull my car out so you can charge it. You literally had to work as a team to use 2 chargers out of the 4 that were available.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't end there though, because
you haven't even got to the pot noodle bit yet.
Well, then I charged up again at Starbucks over somewhere in Scotland, and that was fine. That was good. We did that, and it was relatively cheap because it's subsidised. Ionity is.
Yeah.
Porsche isn't, by the way. If I charged up a Porsche, then that's more expensive, which is odd. Then I went onwards to. I think it's Charge Place Scotland, which are normally very good. Scotland's actually a good place for charging. Wales is the worst.
Right.
I went up, plugged it in, charging error. Pulled it out, plugged it in again, charging error. It's absolutely tipping it down with rain, so I'm getting wet through. There's a guy next to me.
Hang on, let me stop you there. Why don't they have covers? We said this yesterday. It's so simple. Why don't the electric car charging points have a gazebo?
Answer for that one.
Carry on.
Because electricity and water mix well together.
It astonishes me, and it didn't really occur to me until yesterday when you phoned me, and I thought, you sound miserable. And when you said that you'd walked over to the petrol station to get your hot water, I was like, that's not a way to live, is it?
Eating a pot noodle in the car. Well, I moved eventually because there was a guy from Holland who was travelling the UK in his electric car. Asked him what it was like. He didn't want to be on camera. And he said, terrible, I'm getting rid of it. He did say that their infrastructure was light years ahead of ours. But he's had enough. He's going to go back to petrol.
Wow, okay. So then from there, that's when you sent me the selfie of you eating a pot noodle in your Porsche, waiting for it to charge for the last 90 or so miles, which is not much fun, that last bit in the dark, is it? No,
that wasn't the most amount of fun. However, it does give you the chance to appreciate the smaller things in life.
Like the shape of crisps.
And pot noodles.
Yeah, and pot noodles. Yeah. So remember, that's going to be the new Ed Sheeran song, isn't it? I'm in love with the shape of crisps. Right, so my run-up, so that was your run-up. My run-up, I fueled up in Halzowen, which you may well know, and that was 630 miles ago. That was the last time I went to a petrol station, other than yesterday in Wick. So I drove Halzowen to Northumberland in one go, and then I drove Northumberland up to John O'Groats yesterday with a long stop at House of Braw, I think you say it that way, which is like a really expensive Scottish outdoor shop where everything is tweed and everything's 300 quid. I was very out of place there, but I did buy some nice slippers in the sale.
Are you going to wear them for
I
driving?
am going to wear my driving slippers in the sale, yeah. So, so that was me. So,
can I just say, by the way,
go on.
I listened to the evangelists, right? Because they went, oh, you get used to one pedal driving with your
Your regenerative
braking. And I have to say, I got used to it on the way up. It was all right. I never used my brake pedal. It just pulled, because you have to switch it on the Porsche, whereas on the Tesla, you kind of have to switch it off, and it never totally goes off. But the Porsche don't like that, so you can switch it off totally. But I got used to it, and it pulled the power up a little bit as well.
Did you notice then that your range was extending better with it on? Definitely.
Yeah, because especially when you were going downhill and you saw the range going up slightly, but going up, then it went downhill, it went back up again, so it put more power in it. And I also, because I'm Team EV, I switched my aircon off. And and the windows were steaming up a little bit, but I thought, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
just go for it.
Well, I very nearly bought prior to finding the BMW, I nearly bought a Mercedes E-Class, which would have been a 3.2 litre V6 diesel, all the kit on it, would have been a nice car. But at the last minute, the guy messaged me and said, oh, there's a problem with the blowers. They only work on full heat and either on full power or none at all. And I was like, well, for filming in the car and condensation, it's just going to be a battle over 800 miles. Now, I love the idea of the car because it looked really comfortable. I just thought I can't drive up here with all heat or all blowers or nothing at all. That's going to be an absolute nightmare.
Sure.
So the car I've got seems to be pretty good. So, is your plan then from here? What's your plan? You've got 427 miles to Kendal, 7 and a bit hours. It's saying, I think.
I have an advantage. I know the Lake District very well.
Ah, okay.
So I can zip down there and take some shortcuts, etc. And I know where the charges are in Kendal.
Right.
One of them, which is Ionity, I can't use. I think it's Ionity, but I can't use them because I was there the other week, and they've placed them downstairs in an underground car park, and it's too narrow to get the Taycan through because the Taycan's a wide car.
So your car doesn't fit in the place where you need it to charge?
No.
That's that is wild. I mean, your car's big. We did this in the last video, didn't we? It is a big, wide thing.
It's huge, yeah. I mean, if you look at the Macan, it's mind-boggling, really, because the Macan that I had before, I thought, I don't like that because it's a big car.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, the Taycan's bigger. It's just lower, that's all.
So, I won't need to fuel today. I'll fuel tomorrow. But obviously we will need to stop for wees and drinks and coffees and whatnot. And let me just say on camera, we're both taking this ridiculously seriously. I am, this for the internal combustion thing is an important thing, and I know that you are. You're on it. I can tell from the messages we've had in the last couple of weeks. Lee is like not hanging around here. He genuinely wants to go for this. Wants to do it.
I was topping out at the speed limit each time. I thought I'm going to keep to the speed limit, but go for it. I didn't stop yesterday. I literally just stopped the charge and I was on it.
I think you did. That was a big journey yesterday. I think you did well getting there before midnight.
Yeah.
In any car, to be fair. So respect to you. You can cover some long distances. So I think this is a pretty decent match. I know I can go a long way without needing a wing. So the challenge is very much on.
It's on. Bring it on.
Are you ready to start? How's your battery?
Well, I can have a look because I can check my battery on my phone, you see. So we have at the moment, let it reach the server, 98% and 207 miles of, wow, that's low, 207 miles of range.
207 miles. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're almost there. So bring it on, and for the evangelists out there, I'm 100% on your side on this one. And they have said, but if you win, then you've proved yourself wrong that the electric cars are the future. Well, got to be honest with you, I still don't think they're the future because it's the infrastructure that holds it back. But I'm going to give it a go.
I think it remains to be seen. This hasn't been done before, and I'm excited to get on the road now, actually. So, right, onwards, let's go.
Onwards, my friends.
Let's go.